Hi everyone, welcome to another week in review on this Friday, March 18th, 2022. It's the third month of March and it's almost spring. It's the last few days of winter. But of course, you know, the first day of spring doesn't mean it's spring, right? Yeah. So we got a lot to just uncover. So here we are. I know my light is a little dim, but hey, it's Friday. Dim the lights. So COVID, of course, hello Kay, hello everyone that came in. Hello. So the global confirmed cases are as follows for COVID-19, because yes, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. It's year two. They say it's year three, but it's really 2 years since we had this happening. So we have 467,957,790 global confirmed cases of COVID-19 in 191 countries, I believe, or 189, but I know it's almost close to 200. Global death toll, is 6,070,528. U.S. confirmed cases are at 79,717,247. And the U.S. death toll is at 970,804. So we're 30,000 deaths short for hitting the 1 million death toll mark here in the United States of America. And we're not even 20% of the world's population. I forgot how much of the percentage of the world population we are. I can find that for you right now. The U.S. world population. Okay, yes, we know. We make up 4.25% of the world's population. So we're not even 5%. We're 4.2% of the world's population. And yet we have the highest numbers of COVID. So let's read those numbers again. The global confirmed cases are at 467,957,790. The global death toll is 6,070,528. The U.S. confirmed cases are at 79,717,247, and the U.S. death toll is 970,804. Yeah. Hey, Enrique. And we only account for 4.2% of the world's population. Not even 5%. In terms of vaccinations, how much of us is vaccinated? Of course, across the United States of America. Here we are, United States of America. Wait, 66.10% of us is vaccinated. Fully vaccinated at that. Even though there were over 558,121,108 doses administered total, it's only 66% that is fully vaccinated. So that number in particular, 216,952,347. So only 2/3 of the country is fully vaccinated. Why am I saying all of this? Because there's also another variant that's out there too, which is Deltacron. That's a mixture of Omicron and Deltacron. There's already cases, I think, out in Europe. And we're seeing some spikes in New Jersey, which is the next state next to me. I live in New York. So, like, whatever happens in New Jersey can possibly happen in New York, especially New York City, because I live in the city. And there's people that, live in New Jersey that work in New York. So, it's like, or people that work in New Jersey live in New York. So, it's like it's a vice versa thing. So, I mean, ugh. The lessons for U.S. on COVID. Freedom of choice means freedom with ignorance and consequence. You're absolutely right, Enrique. A surge of a new variant is right around the corner. I think it possibly could hit Easter. The way people are not wearing a mask out now can happen in Easter. Or it may happen like 2 weeks before Easter. Because people are that dumb. So, once again, we have 79,683,737. So again, we have over 79 million cases of COVID and over 970,000 deaths. Only 2/3 of this country is vaccinated. So here it is. This false optimism of, there are low hospitalizations and, low transmission of COVID. It's all a lie. There are cases that are rising in certain places across the pond from the United States and within the United States of America. United States of America is only 4.25% of the world's population. And yet we have the most cases and the most fatalities of COVID-19. You think something would have happened that clicked in everybody's head after 2 years of dealing with this? Like, maybe I should take some personal responsibility of wearing a mask if I'm not vaccinated. Or if I am vaccinated, I still wear a mask and keep my fucking distance. But obviously, things are not registering. Yet people are still trying to get back to normal, even though normal did not look great for a lot of us pre-COVID. But people want to get back to normal, which, I think you want to pump your brakes and slow down, because pandemics come in waves. You already had about 4 or 5 waves. So there are at least 2 more waves that is hitting us between the spring and summertime and the fall. Here it is. So all of this false optimism, people need to stop. So let me just sum this up and dumb it down for the people that choose to be dumb, stupid, and ignorant, and more names that I want to say, but I feel like I'm tired of saying. With 2/3 of this nation, vaccinated, the same nation that has the most cases and the most fatalities of COVID-19. Let's dumb it down again. For the people in the back, as my good friend say, breaking news. Breaking news. With the world having nearly almost 500 million cases of COVID-19, confirmed cases of COVID-19, over 6 million dead, nearly 80 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in the United States of America, almost nearly 1 million people dead from this virus, and 2/3 of this great nation vaccinated, and we're only accounting for 4.25% of the world's population, and yet people are still complaining and crying about their liberty and their freedom. Well, your liberty and your freedom will be taken away if you don't be responsible to wear a mask, A, B, get vaccinated, and C, protect your loved ones, including your little ones and your elderly family members. So if you want to be an ass and be stupid out here, you will fuck around and catch this virus. And you will be lucky if you make it. Because everybody's immune system is not the same. Some people don't even know they have a weak immune system until they catch a really bad virus. And they wonder why I should have protected myself. Yeah, you should. So go fuck around and find out there. You 34%, 33%, whatever percentage it is, and you will see what happens. I don't want to be on that side. Because long COVID ain't cute. Go ask the people in the commercials. I mean, seriously. Hello, everyone that came on me. You are just tired of telling people to wear fucking masks. To keep your fucking distance. Even if the people loosen the mask mandate. There are certain places you still got to wear your mask, like on the fucking train. Or if you're close proximity, oh my God, of people. Like, come on. Be responsible. You don't have to wear a mask forever and ever and ever. But be responsible. It's not that hard. Yeah, God. Ugh. So, in terms of politics, I don't know much about foreign policy. My name is not Dr. Rouser. But I have a little bit of sense to know what's going on. So President Zelensky met with Congress, I believe, this past week. And, the Congress joint, both the House and the Senate. And pretty much, oh, wow. Okay. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, Kay, I just wish you'd put out more facts on COVID since you're a nurse. To let these dumbass people know what's up. It's crazy. I'm sorry, Kay. I mean, like your tweet, like your thing. Yeah. It's important. Back to this Ukraine stuff. So President Zelensky met with the joint Congress that includes the House of Representatives and the Senate to plea for a no-fly zone and to request more aid and more weapons to combat the Russian army and Putin and the oligarchs. And so he got applause for his passionate speech, and I believe got his request for more aid, and the president will send him more aid. So the Senate, I believe, passed a resolution or passed a budget to give Ukraine more aid. And only 31 senators out of the 100 senators in the U.S. Senate, 31 senators have voted against the aid. So here it is. A motion to, I think it's a bill to measure the progress of post-disaster recovery and efforts to address corruption and governance all in Haiti, as well as in Ukraine, I believe, too. And here are the list of senators. No, this is the bill of Haiti, or wait, hold up. Because I know there were, yep. Okay, so here it is. According to Newsweek, because I was looking at another bill too. But I want to address the other bill too. So, the Senate passed a $1.5 trillion appropriations package on Thursday that includes $13.6 billion in emergency humanitarian and military aid for Ukraine amid the ongoing Russian invasion. This legislation won a lot of bipartisan support, and the senators that voted against the measures include the following: Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, John Bozeman of Arkansas, Mike Braun of Indiana, Richard Burr of North Carolina. Keep in mind, he's retiring. You think he would do the right thing. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Tom Cotton of Arkansas, Kevin Kramer of North Dakota, Mike Carpio of Idaho, Rafael Cruz of Texas, Steve Daines of Montana, Deb Fisher of Nebraska, Bill Haggerty of Tennessee, Joshua David Hawley, the insurrectionist of Missouri, John Hoeven of North Dakota, Ronald Johnson of Wisconsin, John Kennedy of Louisiana, James Lankford of Oklahoma. Keep in mind, he's supposed to be the principal conservative. Mike Lee of Utah, Cynthia Loomis of Wyoming, Roger Marshall of Kansas, Randall Paul of Kentucky, Jim Roche of Idaho, Willard Romney of Utah, Mike Ronds of South Dakota, Marco Rubio of Florida, Ben Sasse, the other principal conservative of Nebraska, Rick Scott of Florida, Timothy Eugene Scott, the only black Republican of South Carolina, Dan Silverman of Arkansas, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Patrick Joseph Toomey Jr. The other Republican that's supposed to be retiring, he thought he would do the right thing, of Pennsylvania. Willard issued a statement after the voting saying, "We have got to end the absurd process of jamming through last-minute trillion-dollar, 1,000-page spending bills without meaningful input from more than a handful of members." Trashy Blackburn said on Twitter, "Under the Democrats' leadership, inflation has reached a 40-year high, gas and more expensive than in 2008 at the height of the financial crisis. With one vote, the left was trying to smuggle through more wasteful spending," Blackburn issued. And the fake Christian himself, Marco Rubio, said this: "We should have passed funding for Ukraine 2 weeks ago. But instead, Democrats held it hostage, so they rammed it through thousands of earmarks, Green New Deal programs, the hiring of 10,000 IRS agents, and other woke priorities." I don't want to read the rest. I was going to save this for time to read, but after reading that shit, here's my message to the 31 Republicans that voted against military aid for Ukraine. You guys had so much to say for this president, right? I want to know to these same senators that were in Congress, because all those names I read, y'all was motherfucking in Congress 2-3 years ago. Some of you got elected 4 years ago. Where was the same energy when the former bum, the leader of your party still, when y'all all try to denounce him, most of y'all, where was y'all when he withheld over $400 million of military aid to Ukraine that was already allocated? Where was y'all when that shit was going on? He withheld it to try to get information from then candidate Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Where was y'all concern and energy for that? I don't know. But I would like to say this to y'all. You 31 Republicans, you guys will find a problem with this president because the other side, the Democrats, did not agree with your last leader. First of all, your last leader was a whole ass Russian asset. He was the Antichrist to American politics and government and just humanity. This is the same guy who got help by the very same enemy that is invading Ukraine right now. And to Willard. This is to Willard. Willard, you were the same one that's saying, you know, the United States need to act on Russia and everything. And the United States is acting and is doing its part to protect Ukraine and send Ukraine all the necessary military aid, and you voted against it. Really, Willard? That's why nobody trusts you. I'm so glad that you lost to the first African-American president of the United States of America. You lost to him in 2012. 10 years ago, you lost to him. Because we all knew you were full of shit. And even in 2016, you spoke against the bum. You're still full of shit. Because you're full of shit because you try to work for him as his Secretary of State. And then when you got elected to the Senate, the only time you voted for impeachment, only on one article. No matter how anti-Trump you are, you're still full of shit. So therefore, you can take your principal Republican act and flush it down the toilet. And then while you're doing that, talk to your niece. Try to reconcile that relationship too. Because you know y'all got family problems. And I'm not even spending my time on Marsha Blackburn because she's stupid. But to the two Republicans that's retiring, Richard Burr of North Carolina and Patrick Toomey of Pennsylvania, you guys are punks and sellouts. You guys don't care about democracy. Because if y'all did, y'all would have voted yes for that bill and many other bills. Like, you guys are supposed to be the standard bearers of democracy, and you guys are voting against aid to protect the people in Ukraine, but y'all tweeting saying y'all stand with Ukraine. Y'all can go ahead and sail off the sunset some fucking way with that bullshit. And to the GOP overall, you guys are the party of insurrection, the party of domestic terrorism, the party of anti-democracy. And that's why you will always be called the Grand Insurrectionist Party, because you guys are not the party of Reagan. And as much as I hate him, you're not the party of Reagan. You're not the party of Lincoln. You're not the party of Eisenhower. You're not the party of globalism. You're not the party of fiscal conservatism. You're not the party of humanity or humanitarianism, whatever you're not the party of that anymore. You're the party of disruption, chaos, and everything that's wrong with democracy. That's what y'all the party of. That's what y'all represent. Y'all don't represent anything good no more. You were never the party of the people. No matter how much I said y'all freed the slaves. And even when the slaves were free, they were still battling racism and you didn't do shit. So y'all can go on with that bullshit. Ugh. Y'all are tweeting. Y'all are like, I said tweeting. Y'all are putting y'all comments out there. Let me just read some of them. Marsha Dusty ass. Woo. Yeah, I'm like you, Yvonne. I can't stand them neither. They forgot gas prices in the Bush era. Oh, yeah, they forgot about the... You know what's so funny? Republicans want to bring up the fucking, inflation. They didn't say anything in the Reagan administration. They didn't say anything in Bush 41's administration, nor in Bush 43's administration. When Bush 43's administration oversaw the housing crisis, the mortgage crisis, and almost our stock market being ready to crash at 6,000. It went down to 6,000 points. They forgot about that. But no, blame this president. And this same president, when he was Vice President Biden Biden was actually one of the people that saved the auto industry, which was about to go right to the farm people. Oh, they forgot about that. Ooh, child, they forgot about that. And a lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their jobs. And senior VPs that lost their jobs in 2008, they were taking entry-level jobs. That's why people like me that came out of college in 2008 had a very hard time finding a job in their field, because I was competing with people that lost their jobs on top of recent grads. The Republican Party is the reason why that millennials right now are still like skeptical of spending because of their fuck up. But I digress. The Republican Party of today was never great. Not even in their greatest moments, they were not even that great. So I don't even know why this Republican Party wants to blame the other side for everything when they're not doing nothing to help nobody. They keep in mind they voted against the American Rescue Plan that gave everybody $1,400 checks when people needed that shit, and rental assistance and extra unemployment money. Because I know I benefited from that, because I needed that shit, because I would have lost my apartment. They forgot. But that's all. Now I want to talk about this Crown Act, y'all. So the Crown Act that passed today in the House, because it got to go through the Senate. Oh, God, I hate it. So, the 117 Congress, see, like, I got to, yeah. The H.R. 2116, Crown Act of 2021, which was introduced by Rep. Watson Coleman of New Jersey. And they had a lot of co-sponsors on this bill. There was a lot. It first started with Representative Lee, Presley, Omar Moore of Wisconsin, Joyce Beatty, Carolyn Maloney, Lisa Blunt, Danny of Illinois, Mrs. Lawrence, Mr. Thomas of Missouri, Ms. Wilson of Florida, Frederica, Mr. Brown, Anthony Brown from Maryland, Ms. Clark, Yvette Clark from New York, Ms. Demons of Florida, Mr. Evans, Mr. Norton, Mr. Butterfield, my Congressman Adriano Espaillat, Mr. Williams of Georgia, Hank Williams, and then it's a whole bunch of other people. They all introduced, the committee that introduced that bill, and then you had more co-sponsors, mostly the whole Democratic caucus. And the bill is to prohibit discrimination based on an individual's texture of hairstyle, to be enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States Congress assembled. Section 1 is, this may be cited as creating a respectful and open world for natural hair of Act 2021, also known as the Crown Act. And you can see the findings that throughout the United States, society has, in conjunction with skin color, had hair texture and hairstyle to classify individuals based on race. So, this is a good bill. I like this bill because, to share a little personal story with y'all. So, I have been natural for almost 10 years. It'll be August, 10 years. On my jobs from 2012 and 2011, before I went natural and on, I've been criticized by bosses and supervisors that I work for. Majority were black women about my natural hair. One, I was like, my hair was thin. And so when I went natural, I thought it would be fine, but they didn't like the way I wear my natural hair. So I kept on with braids. And I had to take a break for a little bit because I didn't want my hair to be pulled. And I thought it got better once I left the other job, but obviously it didn't, because they still did not like my natural hair. Even when I went on interviews, I felt like I got the stare of my natural hair. And when I worked for the seminary, not the other place I worked for, but the seminary, mind you, these are my people, black people. I got criticized for my natural hair. wearing my natural hair. So those places constantly criticized me. And it didn't feel good. I will go home angry. I will talk to my mom and my dad. And I'm like, I know my hair is not as long and poofy, because I do got like a little like mini size fro. But I just feel like, you know, are we really like discriminating against hair? And then when the city of New York put out, you can't discriminate nobody against nobody's hair, my job at the seminary didn't care. So this Crown Act means a lot to me as a black woman. Because I struggle to accept not just my hair, but myself and my skin color as a black woman. And it's so sad that I got a lot of this unnecessary trauma from my own people. And let's keep in mind, one of them had weak ass hair, and the other actually had natural hair but decided to straighten her hair. And there was others I worked for, lost their hair. And my hair just starting to grow back on this side. But there was people that criticized me, had bald spots in their hair. From all the lace fronts and the weaves that they were wearing. So I'm saying this to say, as black women, the Crown Act means so much to us. Because we can go to work to wear our hair in the best way we want to express ourselves as we want to. Black women have been denied jobs all because of the way we wear our hair. And that's not even all of it, but that's an essential part of it. So as a black woman, standing with my braids, or with my natural hair, or sometimes wearing my natural hair pieces, makes me feel good. It makes me feel proud of who I am as a chocolate, brown, thick, 30-something-year-old black woman. So I feel great and happy. And you should too. Even if you're Hispanic, Afro-Latino, Asian, with different texture hair, or even as a white person with curly hair, don't ever feel uncomfortable in your skin or in your hair because your supervisor, your co-worker, or your boss don't like your hair. Who gives a fuck? It's your hair. God gave you that hair. You wear that hair proud and happy. I had to sum that up. I hope that message touched people. And thank you. So, on to the next thing. These midterms are crazy. This is going to be an ongoing conversation because this midterms here is going to be the fight of death. I know Pennsylvania has their midterms in May. I believe other midterms are in June. I heard one midterm has been moved in July. Another is in August. I know my midterms are, our primaries are in June. So, you know, some people trying to enter back into the race. And I'm just like, do you want a Republican governor for New York? New York didn't have a Republican governor since 2005. Well, we haven't elected one since like the 90s. So we're not trying to have that. So if I were you, I would not do that. But, you know, like I said, these midterms are to watch for. Watch out for the national races. I know the key center races are Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, and the ones to defend is Georgia and Arizona and New Hampshire and Nevada. So we have to like make sure we hold those and hold those strong. So yeah, it's the fight of the fight. with these midterms. So there will be an ongoing conversation on that. And it's important for us to vote in these midterms and even in our local elections, because look what Florida have done. Also, watch out for the hearing on Ketanji Brown Jackson coming up soon. So watch out for that one. And that's all. I read the GOP already, so that was enough. But I would like to say this to white Democrats. This is especially for y'all. No matter if you're progressive, centrist, or moderate. To the progressives. It's one particular progressive who got mad about Representative Brown talking about what the Crown Act meant to her. Let me tell you something. You are a white woman from Ohio. You do not know what black women go through day to day with their hair. How we're discriminated with our hair, no matter if it's in a protective style or not in a protective style. You don't know what we go through. So for you to say that we need Medicare for all and everything, you could take your privilege ass somewhere else and shut the fuck up. And that's to all of you white progressives out there. Shut the fuck up. And some of you ashy black ones too. To the moderates and centrists that don't like the vice president, guess what? She's going to be the vice president. Even when they run for re-election in 2024, she's going to be the running mate for the president. Otherwise, she may be the presumptive nominee. And you're just going to have to face the fact that this is a change in America. Nobody is chasing the white vote for Democrats anymore. You know why? Because the majority of your brothers and sisters continue to vote for GOP candidates who ain't shit. And all because of they don't want to learn about race and the harsh realities of it. So they fall for the critical race theory, which is not even taught in grade school or in undergrad, universities and public institutions at all. They fall for that bullshit because they have inner racism that they have to deal with them themselves. Why you get on moderates, Chantay? Because moderates are no better than progressives and no better than conservatives. They all of the same fucking coin. Just because they vote Democratic, all of them, doesn't mean that they are for us by us. Because half of those motherfuckers ain't FUBU. We know progressives ain't FUBU, and we damn sure know conservatives ain't FUBU. But centrists and moderates, they fall under that shit too. Because half of them will vote for the GOP candidate before they vote for the other Democratic presumptive nominee. Or write in a candidate, because that's how nasty they are. And that's all I have to say. If you got a problem, don't know what to tell you. Go with God. But I would like to end this night. Stay safe. Continue to wear your mask because this virus is still out high. If you live in a city or live in a small area, crime is going up too. Be careful going down the street. Try not to stay out long and try to stay aware of things because people are just crazy and desperate. And these are some strange and desperate times. And hopefully we can make it through. But until then, protect yourselves and each other. And that's all I have to say to y'all. Until then, have a good night.